So I want to thank you all for coming to the HR 2768 and HR 2769 Miner Health Enhancement Act hearing today. We're going to have votes this afternoon, so we're not going to go on and on. We're going to listen to you and then get back to questions and answers. I thank you for coming late in the day. That's not always easy to do. Our Republican colleagues in the mining industry requested this hearing, and we were happy to accommodate them, because all members of this subcommittee are aware that we have held 2 previous hearings on this important issue, and we've heard not only from miners, we've heard from their families and their representatives, but also from MSHA and the industry. I've met with industry representatives myself. My staff has been working with the industry. MSHA and other interested parties looking for a consensus on this particular legislation are coming to us because the health and safety of our miners are much too important to ignore and much too important to delay. I'm proud to be a sponsor of HR 2768 and 2769 with Chairman Representative Miller and Representative Rahal from West Virginia and many members of the subcommittee. This legislation makes it absolutely clear to MSHA what Congress expects that the agency do. Nearly 40 years ago, Congress passed for the first time the health and safety legislation for miners. And while mining is inherently dangerous, we recognized then that there was much government could do to reduce fatalities due to accidents and work-related illnesses such as black lung. Things have improved over the years, but they have not improved enough. And recently, we had a wake-up call. In the year 2006, there were 3 serious mine accidents at Sago, Aracoma Alma, and Darby, killing 19 miners. By the time 2006 was over, 47 miners were killed in work-related accidents. This was over twice the number of miners who lost their lives just the year before. And sadly, these accidents could have been prevented had mine operators followed the law and had MSHA vigorously enforced the law and its own regulations. Congress did act swiftly in 2006 by passing the Miner Act. But over a year and a half later, MSHA has not done much to implement the mandates of that law. The miners' widows who testified before the full committee this spring made that very clear to us. They pointed out the lack of essential improvements yet to be made at their mines. And Cecil Roberts, president of the United Mine Workers, also gave us a sober assessment. He testified that the reality is, and I'm quoting him, he said, "The reality is that if Sago, Alma, or Darby happened today, the results would very likely be the same. The men who should have escaped those tragedies over a year ago still could not do so today because very little progress has been made." End of his quote. The bills that we're examining today put teeth into the Miner Act by tightening and supplementing current law with regard to detailed emergency response plans, the Rescue, Recovery, and Incident Investigation Authority of MSHA, and penalties for those owners who break the law. But the Miner Act, when it was passed in 2006, didn't go far enough to provide for the health and safety of miners, and we knew we would have to do more. These additional issues were more fully explored at the hearings the chairman held earlier this spring. For example, miners and miners' widows told us that miners are afraid to complain about unsafe conditions because they don't want to lose their jobs and they don't want to be blacklisted. In mining areas in West Virginia and Kentucky and other states, coal is king, and we know that. And if a miner loses his job, he loses the ability to make a living in his very own community. So this legislation also establishes an independent Office of Ombudsman to ensure proper attention to miner complaints of unsafe conditions and to protect whistleblowers from retaliation. In addition, we heard testimony that black lung disease is on the rise and is showing up in even younger workers. We thought we were on the way to eradicating this disabling and often fatal disease, since black lung is entirely preventable if coal mine dust is properly controlled. Other countries have managed to do just that. Obviously, we have to get a handle on this immediately. Today's bills revise critical health standards to respond to this alarming rise in black lung and requires MSHA to adopt the lower exposure limit recommended by NIOSH. The Miner Act and the Miner Health Enhancement Act are critical to protect our miners, and this hearing is very important. We have a very distinguished and knowledgeable panel of witnesses, and I am honored that all four of you are here, and I look forward to your elaborating on these very important bills, and I look forward to hearing your testimony.